going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. You are now home with Dodgers Nation and Jim Beam. Sorry about that little technical difficulty, but I think I did resolve it. But the Dodgers get the dub. They beat the Nationals by a final score of 8-5. Your boys in blue improved to 86-54 on the year. If you're keeping score, there's still 20 games up of the San Diego Padres. But welcome to the show. We have lots to get into. Got some big takeaways from tonight's win. Hey, after that delay, you had a 94-minute delay tonight, and both teams combined to go 0 for 15. They should just called that game and called it a night, and they got to the hotel. They got their dinner reservation. I don't know why they wasted their time, but we got a lot to get into in this one. I have some thoughts on Emmett Sheehan. Is he ready for October? I think the Dodgers are going to need Emmett Sheehan. If you look at his numbers, there's not a lot to get excited about, but I do think that he's someone that has the stuff that could play up in the postseason. We're going to talk about Max Muncy's defense. Could that cost him a pivotal game? Could that lead to a series loss? We're going to talk about this Dodgers offense that's heating up. Walker Buehler, of course. I know you already know this by now. I dropped a video earlier where we talked about Walker Buehler's and the organization's decision to not make that comeback this year. We won't see Walker Buehler until 2024. This Dodgers rotation has seen better days. Probably one of the worst weeks when it comes to news for your Los Angeles Dodgers in quite some time. But hey, you have to continue moving on, put that best foot forward. And I think tonight, with Mookie Betts not in the lineup, you saw this team go out there and score a ton of runs for the second night in a row. That is going to be the recipe for success for the Dodgers in the postseason. Can this offense carry them? But let me know down below in the comment section where you represent Dodgers Nation from tonight. Also, if you have not yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit that like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. And the more likes we get, the better the channel does, and the more giveaways we are going to have. We're still giving away that Mookie Betts authentic jersey, number 50, over $350 once we hit that 70K mark. But we're going to do some more giveaways very, very soon. But here, let's jump into the comments. We're going to break down tonight's game because, hey, you need that win, especially with morale a little low right now as far as how the fan base is feeling, as far as expectations for the postseason, especially after the news. We got Simi Valley in the house. What up, DKM? Always rocking with us. We got CT looks a lot better. That's from Drimmick Smith, the M&M's Mix fan. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Chris Taylor because that was definitely in my notes. Talking about CT3, he's looked a lot better of late. You saw him contribute tonight once again, had that big double there. So we're going to talk about Chris Taylor. Kike Hernandez looks better right now, but how about the return of JD Martinez? Freddie Freeman, he sets the record for most doubles in a season. So all that and more here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. But I want to read some of your comments, show you guys some love before we get into it. Repping South Bay, Los Angeles up here in Oakland. What up, man? Anthony Keene. Anthony Keene, he had Fredericks of Hollywood passing Johnny Frederick for most doubles in a season. Freddie hit his 53rd double tonight in the 5th inning, passing Johnny Frederick, who did it in 1929. How about Fredericks of Hollywood? Hey, if your name is Frederick and you play for the Dodgers, there's a chance you're going to get some two-baggers. But we got Compton in the house from Herman Barriga. What up, Herman? How you doing, my man? We got Kiki is looking better also. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that's definitely a storyline here right now is how some of these guys that had been struggling this season are looking better of late. So there's no doubt about that. You saw much better at bats. And look, they did what they were supposed to do. Let's just not sugarcoat this. They beat a team that has a minus 126 run differential, a last place Washington Nationals team, the Fighting Walgreens, as I like to call them. They're 63-78 on the year. Not a good baseball team by any stretch. Lots of young players that they're trying to break in. The Dodgers, they're doing what they need to do, and that's just go out there, win baseball games, but also, most importantly, get guys right. And I think we'll start right there and talk about the return of JD Martinez. But tonight, though, the Dodgers, they score 8 runs. That was the 41st time this season. Here's some fast facts off the top. Here's your facts that you need to know from this game. The Dodgers, they scored 8 runs for the 41st time this season. That's the most in Major League Baseball. They win by a final score of 8-5. They hit 10 hits tonight, 9 walks, and They went against 7 Nationals pitchers. So 10 hits, 9 walks. You're going to score a ton of runs. Probably should have been more runs. We saw them leave the bases loaded there in the 5th inning. They had bases loaded, 1 out, weren't able to capitalize. So, yeah, I mean, they should have had more runs, but still, they went out there and they did what they were supposed to do. You saw home runs from J.D. Martinez, Max Muncy, and Kike Hernandez. You saw 2 doubles. So if you want the dub, you got to slug. Dodgers did just that tonight. And I liked having Chris Taylor. You're talking about Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor batting in the top of the lineup tonight with Mookie Betts out. I think that was a nice move. We saw Chris Taylor do that in the past. We saw that in 2017. The World Series hits the home run off Dallas Keuchel to start that series off. But here we go. Please, Doug, give me some Michelada half full stuff, bro. That's from Oso-tastic. Yeah, we'll do some Michelada half full tonight for sure. I think you're probably thinking that things are bleak for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Just a week ago, you thought Julio Urias was probably going to get right. You probably thought Clayton Kershaw was going to continue to ramp up. You probably thought that Walker Buehler was going to be back, and rightfully so. All those things look like they were going to happen. I still think that Clayton Kershaw could figure some things out. The velo has dropped to around 88 miles per hour. That's the lowest it's been since 2018. And back when that happened in 2018, that was followed by a 3-week stint on the IL. So history tells us that when Kershaw has a drop in velo, it's usually followed by an IL stint. But in this case, he's come back from injury. He's trying to ramp up. So hopefully he gets some strength in that shoulder. And from a mechanical standpoint, you can find a way to get that velocity up. Because Kershaw, he said he's feeling fine. Dave Roberts said that the dip in velocity, the dip in command, is due to his shoulder injury and just coming back from that shoulder injury. So we'll hope that he can get back and get right, because they are going to need it. We got Cheeto Hills in the house from Dodger Blue. We got Dylan Harris, CT3, did well filling in the leadoff spot. That's my first Dodgers Nation comment of the game from my friend on YouTube, Dylan Harris. Here, you get one of these, my man.
You win. Perfect.
Please drink responsibly. Coming through from Fresno, that's from Square Ass Sosa. Okay, BC, Muncy at 207, CT3 at 234, Alman 253. They're all 20 points lower or more a few weeks ago. Yeah, and me, I'm not going to focus too much on batting average when it comes to just overall evaluation of offensive production, but still, I mean, look, kind of if you want to go batting average-wise, I mean, sure, that makes some sense, but I think when you look at the power that Muncy brings, Outman, he's definitely played well of late, but I think kind of the big story tonight as far as a player that's continuing to look better of late, you have to look at a Chris Taylor, and you saw that on display once again today. CT3 is someone who I think is really hopefully peaking at the right time. He's hopefully timing that peak, and this is kind of hopefully crescendo early on in the postseason. That is my hope, because he's someone who last 4 games hitting .357, 5 for 14, 2 home runs, 2 doubles. Last 15 in 11 games, Chris Taylor has a .333 batting average and 1141 OPS, 10 for 30 with 2 home runs, 4 doubles, and 10 RBI. You look at the strikeouts, 12 strikeouts to 8 walks, but he's someone who, if he's right, he's dangerous. Same thing with Max Muncy. If they're right, they're dangerous. Just look at some of the clutch hits you've seen from these guys. Just look at the 2021 postseason. You're talking about someone who had a 3 home run game, a walk-off home run there in the wild card game off his now teammate Alex Reyes. And quietly, very, very quietly, Chris Taylor has just completely started to increase his batting averages, weighted runs created plus. Now he's at a 111 weighted runs created plus on the year. He has 15 home runs, 48 RBI, 14 doubles, 1 triple on the year. And you're seeing someone a 32% strikeout rate, 11.6 walk rate. I think you really have to start talking about the fact that Chris Taylor is having a strong finish to his season, and there's a lot of people out there that said that was going to be a bad contract, that was not going to be something that you looked at and said, okay, this is going to be a good contract, the 4 years, $60 million, because he was a below-average bat that was injury-prone, but he's definitely picking things up. So definitely feeling good about that. Let me ask you guys down below in the question. Let me ask you a question down below. How do you feel about Chris Taylor? Do you think that Chris Taylor is going to have an impact for the Dodgers in the postseason? I think that definitely is a Michelada half-full take right there. I'm going to give Chris Taylor my Dodger dog of the game.
Dodger dog of the game.
Because Chris Taylor, he batted leadoff for Mookie Betts. He also walked twice. He has 8 RBIs in the 3 games on the road trip so far. And also, congratulations to him. Earlier today, he was named the Dodgers nominee for the 2023 Roberto Clemente Award. So, got to give him a lot of credit right there. But let's start there in the top of the first inning. So, top of the first inning, Chris Taylor, he draws a walk. Then he was picked off, trying to steal second right there. And then after Freddie Freeman, he reaches on an infield single to third. By the way, if you have a kid that plays baseball, have them watch Freddie Freeman. I mean, this guy does everything right. He hits a little cue shot right there. He runs it out. He makes it to first. Got the batting helmet flying off. He gets himself an infield single to third. That is how you end up as the hits leader, right? That's how you end up hitting over 300. A guy who's in the mix for batting titles and is in a perennial MVP contender with that kind of effort. When you combine talent with the effort and grit of Freddie Freeman, you know what you get yourself? You get yourself a Hall of Fame player. And he has been perfect for the Dodgers. He's exceeded all expectations, even though those expectations were already high, and he's just been incredible for LA. And the next batter, JD Martinez, back after missing the last 16 games, 1-1 count. Let's take a look at this. You guys look at this? Let's take a look at this. 1-1 count. JD Martinez, boom! 2 outs. 2-run shot, his 26th of the year. That makes it 2-0 Dodgers. And great. I mean, first home run since July 25th, and his 26th of the season. You see a slider right there, center cut, and this is someone that knows how to punish mistakes. That kind of hitter is back in the Dodgers lineup. And like I said, it's been a while since he's left the yard, but he's his 26th bomb of the season. Got that slider, center cut, and yeah, he definitely has been sorely missed. And having someone back in that lineup that knows how to punish mistakes, that is going to be absolutely huge in doing what the Dodgers need to do. If the Dodgers are going to make some noise in the postseason, it's going to be because of their offense. It's going to be because of guys like JD Martinez, guys that have a 987 postseason OPS like him, that have had plenty of experience getting clutch base hits and having big bombs in October. And that definitely was a great sign to see JD back and already having success in his first AB. But here, how do you guys feel about JD Martinez? Do you want to give him your dog? Who's your Dodger dog of the game? By the way, if you need a little refresher, what the Dodger dog of the game is not the player of the game. It's which Dodger had the most dog, because I think JD Martinez, you could make a case for him. But I need to see Freddie win a World Series in his hometown. BC, you're getting a comment of the game for that, because I want to see that as well, because the hometown ties. I mean, Freddie Freeman has talked about it every time someone likes to bring up Atlanta and would he rather be there. And what does he always say? He says, I love the fact that my dad, my family can watch all of my games in person. So never forget, he's a Southern California guy. He grew up here, and I agree with you 100%. Also, selfishly, I want to say, hey, Braves fan, we got our own Freddie Freeman World Series. And if he gets 2 World Series and continues to play like this, he doesn't slow down. When he does make the Hall of Fame, maybe he considers going in with no hat. Maybe he considers going in as a Dodger. That kind of stuff matters to me, especially after what we saw with Mike Piazza, right? Leaving the Dodgers, going to the Hall of Fame as a New York Met, despite the fact that he had his best years as far as overall production in LA. But here we got Zeppelin, 27901. Friedman cheaped out with dollar store pitchers and being a prospect hugger. If he doesn't sign Ohtani, he needs to get Ken. Zeppelin, I'm going to give you a fire take for that.
Fire take.
Because I do think there is some truth in that. I think that, yeah, you can't expect Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin to get injured. You can't expect what happened to Julio Urias and not getting Walker Buehler back. I think they already expected that. Friedman said a few weeks ago that he felt that it was a long shot that Buehler was going to be back for the Dodgers. But the reality is they put all their eggs in that Ohtani basket. And I'm not just saying that. I've heard that from sources, right? And they wanted Shohei Ohtani because, look, they didn't know that Bauer was going to be reinstated, and they were going to still have to pay him over $22 million, and there was no way for them to get under the CBT, right, and to reset the CBT. No, they're still going to be 3 consecutive years where they're third-time offenders and have to pay that excessive surtax. So right now, if you're this Dodgers team and You're looking at Shohei Ohtani. Well, guess what? He blew out his arm. So even if you sign him, he can't pitch, right? So, yeah, I mean, like, there's that. And also, too, I mean, who else were they going to get? That is, I'm kind of to play both sides of the card here. I mean, you guys know where I stand. I was screaming from the tallest mountaintop. I went up the Hollywood sign, screaming down there, trade for Luis Castillo, right? I did every single day. They didn't get Luis Castillo. That was the move to make, and they could have done that. If Freeman wanted to trade the prospects last year, they could have done that. The Mariners gave 3 top 5 prospects. It was definitely a very tall asking price, and hey, it was the expanded postseason. That was a factor too. But look, the reality right now is you want to put yourself in a position to have sustained winning, and if you felt like this team was worth it, you might have gone out there and made a move. But who else was out there? Dylan Cease. He's been bad since the trade deadline. ERA over 8 in his last 6 starts. Verlander did not want to come to LA. He has a no trade clause. He wanted to work something out with the Houston Astros. They're paying down a lot of that salary. Same thing with Max Scherzer, no trade clause. Both those guys aging pitchers. Max Scherzer, he would have to opt into that deal, right? You would have to basically agree to that. Same thing, Verlander. You're still going to have for one more deal at $43.3 million. So if a Corbin Burns was available, that would be a perfect pickup because he still had a year and a half of team control. If there was a perfect situation, I would say, yeah. I mean, these guys didn't go out there and make a move, but the reality is, I mean, Dylan Cease, 2 years of team control based on how much they would have to pay him, that would have been a lot. You'd have to gut the top of this farm system for a Dylan Cease who has not pitched well, and I think you would have to give the Dodgers the benefit of the doubt, knowing they could get the most out of him. But the reality is they needed their guys internally to step up, and thankfully, fortunately, you did discover that you do have a budding superstar in a Bobby Miller, and you have a lot of young talent. How about Ryan Pepiot, a .86 ERA since he's returned for the Dodgers? But yeah, so I think it's a little more complicated than just, okay, I always say the Dodgers, right, they're Amazon. They have everything you want. You want prospects. You want us to take on money. We got everything. You want low-level prospects, high-level prospects. I mean, the surplus was the pitching. That's where they have their surplus. But still, the reality is there weren't a ton of moves to make. I mean, trading for Arenado would have been great. Trading for Jordan Montgomery would have been great. But guess what? The Cardinals did not want to shake hands with the enemy and make that deal with L.A. Otherwise, you probably end up with Flaherty and Arenado, a combination of one of those pitchers and Arenado, but they did not want to move off of him quite yet. So you guys baited me into a tangent. You baited me into a topic. So congratulations. Pound for pound. We got J-Dog. Are the Dodgers waving the white flag on this season with all the bad luck? That's from J-Dog. I wouldn't say that, but I'm going to give you a fire take. I wouldn't say that they're waving the white flag. I think they're trying to... They're just, look, this organization, they've been through a lot as far as everything that's transpired over the last couple of years as far as injuries and off the field stuff. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to just continue to put things together. And I think that this year you could look at and say, the fact that you are going to be using a Bobby Miller, Ryan Pepiot, possibly Emmett Sheehan, who knows, Gavin Stone, Michael Grove, all these young pitchers, that the fact you're getting experience with these guys in the postseason, you're kind of going to see what they can give you moving forward, that you can't look at this as a lost year because, like I said, experience is the currency that you just can't get. You can't buy experience, right? Just because you can develop and you can throw at Arizona Complex League and the minor league level, but you can't replicate pitching in front of 50,000+ people in a postseason game where it's a pressure cooker, where the lights are bright and you have to perform, and they're going to have an opportunity to see what their young players and the young pitchers can do in those situations. Pound for pound asks, what is the Dodgers' magic numbers? Well, after their second win in a row, their magic number is down to 9. Magic number is down to 9. So there you go. Magic number is down to 9. Shout out to Gavin Lux, G-Lux, number 9. So I love that. Getting close to that magic number. Who's your favorite Dodger? We should probably make that a part of the show. Who's your favorite Dodger to wear number 9? I would say Gavin Lux right now has to be that. But number 9, you've had a lot of great Dodgers. Wally Moon, he wore number 9. You got Greg Brock, he wore number 9. How about Marquise Grissom? Remember he played for the Dodgers early 2000. How about Todd Hundley, Mickey Hatcher wore number 9. Juan Pierre, Jason Phillips, D. Street. Strange Gordon, Yasmani Grandal. Who can forget Yasmani pass ball? How about Christopher Negron James? So, yeah, who's your favorite Dodger to wear number 9? But here we go, back into the comment section. Then we'll really dive into the nitty-gritty of this game coming up next. Joining us here on a Friday night here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Trying to do as many shows as we possibly can. If you want to make that happen, definitely hit that like button, guys. Here we go. Justin Lamas, what up, my guy? I have to admit it has been really difficult to follow baseball this season with Ohtani free agency looming. Has been difficult. Why do you say that? To me, I think baseball is great no matter what. I think that really has been an entertaining year of Major League Baseball. But then again, hey, I think every year is great. I just love this stuff. What can I say? We got Craig Osterberg. Dodgers have a month to figure it out. It's from Craig Osterberg. What up, Craig? Oscar Rodriguez. These rookies are taking the Dodgers to the World Series. You heard it first. And hey, Oscar, the positive vibes, the Mitch Lot have full. I'm giving that a Dodgers Nation comment of the game. That's for you, my guy. Please drink responsibly. Metalhead Diecast. Dodgers should get a starting arm. This rotation won't go deep. How about Mr. Blake Snell? Jeez, Blake Snell. Very interesting. I mean, like I said, we're going to get in this game, but you guys know that you dictate the pace here. This is your show. I'm just hosting. And Blake Snell, I mean, he is very, very, very impressive. I mean, you look at Blake Snell, Justin Steele of the Cubs. They're the ERA leaders, man. You're talking about Blake Snell. How about this? He had his 17th game this season where he allowed 2 or fewer runs, 5 or fewer hits, and 3 or more walks, right? That's the most games by a pitcher in the season in the modern era, breaking a tie with Nolan Ryan, who had 16 games like that in 1972. You're talking about someone who could possibly join the elite with a second Cy Young. And how about this connection? Do you guys know who drafted Blake Snell? Let me know down below in the comment section and tell me what you think about that. Extend JD Martinez from pound for pound. Mookie CT scan came back clean and MRI clean. Yeah, so that's the verdict on Mookie Betts. The swelling has gone down. He's off crutches. Hopefully an X-ray doesn't reveal anything, or future MRI or anything else that reveals any type of hairline fractures, and they expect him to be back. So kind of the big takeaway here is, does this cost him the MVP? Because more games equal more statistics. I think you need to get into that 40 to 45 home run range. And I think if you look at overall WAR, the Dodgers record kind of going down, the Braves getting separation, this could be a year where, man, this is a year where Mookie really should be an MVP winner. So here we go. Doug, do you think JD Martinez gets the qualifying offer? Justin Lamas? I think he does. I mean, I think if you look at his production, an all-star, I think when you look at a DH in both leagues, someone who I think if the Dodgers are going to do anything in the postseason, he's going to have his fingerprints all over it. So I think he's going to put himself in a position where, yeah, he probably does get that. And I think you're going to see a team out there that could say, okay, we want a JD Martinez. I mean, look at Nelson Cruz did late in his 40s, right? I mean, JD Martinez, he's not a spring chicken. Make no mistake about that. He's a guy who's definitely not going to win any 100-meter races or anything like that as well. But JD is someone who definitely knows how to hit. He's 36 years old. So I think he could get another 2-3-year contract. I mean, look at what Justin Turner got later in his career. And Justin Turner is someone who is a good hitter, a great hitter, right? But he's also someone who is 38 years old. He got himself a really nice deal with the Red Sox. So, I mean, he signed with the Red Sox. Justin Turner signed he got that $8.3 million base salary, but 1-year deal. So, I mean, look, he's someone who has that player option for 2024. I still think that, 2-year deal, just over $20 million. So, I mean, he could definitely get himself a multi-year deal after the year he's having. But what up, Square Ass? So we got JD Martinez really brings a big impact on this team. Yeah, I mean, that's something that is the first thing you need to know about tonight's game, is that this offense really needs JD Martinez in the lineup. He changes the entire complexion of this lineup. He gives you a hitter that, 1, doesn't miss mistakes, a guy that, 2, can get you a big hit and really stop some of these cold spells. He's someone that's going to go up there, grind out at-bats, and find a way to put the ball in play, get you doubles, get you singles, leave the yard, and we saw that on display tonight. So, yeah, I think that's definitely the first thing you need to know, and he ends up having himself a really nice night tonight for the Dodgers. Going up there, goes 1 for 4, had 3 RBI, had the 1 home run, but just for him to get a home run in his first game back was big. So, yeah, that first inning, we talked about that, the home run, punishing mistakes. Then how about the bottom of the first inning? We got to talk about this one because Emmett Sheehan tonight, you look at his line, you probably say, okay, not a great start for the young guy. He goes 4 1/3 innings. He's up 5 runs on 6 hits, had 4 strikeouts. If you look at first pitch strikes, he goes 20 for 30. If you look at the swinging strikes, just 7 swings and misses. But this is a guy who's having a whiff rate of nearly 15% in his recent starts, and he's someone that I think is just in the process of harnessing his stuff. So bottom of the first inning, a 1-1 to Abrams. He singles to right, changeup up middle of the zone, and then Menezes, he reaches on an infield single to third, and not a nice play by Max Muncy right there. I mean, you look at it was an in-between hop, hits the heel of his glove, and he can't make the play. And I'll admit it, you guys know I'm a big Max Muncy defender because of what he can do with the stick, but defensively, he has not inspired very much confidence of late. You saw in the Braves series. You saw tonight once again in that same inning. I mean, next batter with runners on first and second, he gets Smith to fly out for the first out, and then Abrams, he stole third, and Max Muncy, he just could not get the tag down. I mean, it was a good throw. You got to be a little more aggressive. Get that tag in there. It was originally ruled out, but then they overruled it, and they determined that he was safe. And then, yeah, it's just a bad situation. The next batter, old friend, Dodgers legend, Keibert Ruiz, 1-0 pitch. He crushes a 3-run shot to right center. Changeup, left it up. It caught a little too much of the plate. I mean, not the worst pitch, was down the zone, but Keibert, he was just sitting on it, man. He was sitting on that changeup, and there was a big delay in between the review right there, so that's never good for pitchers, and he has to get out there on the mound, and he gets him, ambushes him, and goes for that 3-run shot. And, hey, I will say, Keibert Ruiz, if you could play against every team like you play against the Dodgers, you'd be an all-star. I mean, 3 home runs against the Dodgers back in May. Hit a home run tonight. That's 4 home runs on the year for the Dodgers. Former top prospect, of course, him and Josiah Gray were included in that deal for Max Scherzer and Trey Turner back in 2021. And then the issue there, Sheehan a little shook. He comes back. He walks Blankenhorn, got ahead in the count 1-2, then lets him get away, and he gets Alou to ground to second for the third out. So, yeah, I mean, then runners on, and then after the second out, and then next batter, you had Kaiboom, best name for a home run call ever. He gets him swing with a fastball up in the zone. So you saw that inning is tough for a young pitcher. I mean, Emmett Sheehan, I mean, look at that strikeout. I mean, 4-seam fastball elevated, and he gets a swing and miss. That is what he brings. That is the potential that he flashes, and that's why I'm still bullish on an Emmett Sheehan. That's why I do want to see him. I'd rather see Emmett Sheehan on the mound in a piggyback start with a Ryan Yarbrough than a Lance Lynn right now. I mean that. I mean, I think Lance Lynn, he's done a lot of nice things. I still think that you have to have him probably on that postseason roster. If he doesn't clean it up, like I said, he beat Mookie to 40 home runs, right? He's given up 40 home runs on the year, and Emmett Sheehan, he's got that explosive stuff. So one of the trade-offs in going with this youth movement and all these rookies is from a velocity standpoint, the velo's higher. I mean, if you compare the velo of a Sheehan, a Bobby Miller, or even a Ryan Pepio, compare that to what Julio Urias was bringing, down sitting at the 92, 93 mile per hour range. Clayton Kershaw, 88 right now. Lance Lynn, 91, 92 miles per hour. The velo with the young guys is definitely better, and that is what tends to play up in the postseason. You mix in some postseason adrenaline, then I think those numbers spike even a little more. Now, the 4-seam fastball velo was down a little bit tonight. He maxed out on the 4-seamer at 96.5 miles per hour. So it was, the average tonight was 94.5. That's down a mile, 1.1 miles off his season average. But you saw a heavy 4-seam fastball. Sheehan goes 67% of the time with it. The sweeper 14%, slider 10%, the changeup 10%. So really, the issue with Sheehan is the command. What I always say, if you want to be the man, you have to have the command. And for young pitchers, that usually is the last thing that really takes you from the AAA level to the major league level, is throwing with more consistency, not trying to throw it through a titanium wall and breaking the catcher's hand right, just kind of maybe taking a little velo off, sacrificing that for some command. And then you jump to the top of the 4th inning, 2-1 count, and Max Muncy, he hits a home run to right to tie it at 3-3, his 33rd home run of the year. And Got to give Max Muncy his credit because, hey, he's someone that offensively he continues to produce. He has had 10 extra base hits in his last 15 games. That was the first since he tied the team record with 9 extra base hits as far as his streak goes. So good to see him back in action, hitting an absolute bomb, a triple-decker. That ball had a family, Max Muncy, and he just absolutely obliterated it. So 33 bombs on the year for the Funky Muncy. Then a few batters later, 3-2 pitch, Kike Hernandez. He hits a bomb to left to get the Dodgers a 4-3 lead. So the Dodgers get 2 runs on 2 solo shots there in the top of the 4th inning. I want to talk a little bit about Kike Hernandez, who is definitely going through a bit of a slump. The honeymoon phase was over after the trade, and then he started to pick it up of late. I mean, last 11 games, hitting under 200, a 581 OPS, but last 7 games for the Dodgers, if you look at his numbers, he has performed better. His last 5, he's 5 for 13 with a home run and a double, OPSing 1192, strikeouts 3, walks 3. So definitely good to see him doing a little better. Here we go. We got Dodgers are the best. That is from Anime Lover. Ohtani is going to the Dodgers. Mark my words, from Justin Kim 2000. Just Lamas Doug. Freeman may be cheap and a prospect hugger, yet he is also taking orders from the owners. It was their plan to put their eggs into the Ohtani basket. Yeah, I think in this organization, you have to consider that as well. I think you got a very collaborative effort when it comes to player acquisition. We got can't wait for the Braves sign-stealing system to get exposed. Okay, that's a fire take. I don't know. I think we can blame this organization for D-May being out. Stevie Wonder could have seen that coming. That's from Jay Bullitt.
Bruh.
We got Jay Diamond. They need to assume from now on that they're going to get injuries on their starting staff every year. The last 2 to 3 years, we've had problems. Jason Diamond, I think it's a fantastic point. That's Ornito's comment of the game right there, because, look, that's the reality. Is we've seen this movie before. We've watched this show. We know how it ends. We've pet this dog again and again, and we continue to get bitten. It's like watching a season of Squid Game. Guys go down. It's inevitable. It's off the field stuff. It's on the mound stuff. It's working your way back from injuries. It's multiple injuries. And I think that it's not just a Dodgers problem. Really, I think we're in the velo revolution where you're going to see that. You are going to see guys go down with the injuries. I mean, what does Billy Beane say? There's 2 types of pitchers, ones that have had Tommy John and ones that are going to have Tommy John. It feels like an inevitability now in Major League Baseball, but it does feel like, and maybe it's just because this is the team we support, we watch all their games, that the Dodgers are impacted by it most. But really, that's not the case. It's really a Major League Baseball thing. But, yeah, when you have talented pitchers that throw gas, it's going to happen more. So, look, Buehler, guy at the 99, 900. Delsime, guy that throws 99, 100. Both those guys, double, big-time surgery guys, right? So, I mean, that's just kind of how it is, right? We got the Freddie Freeman, the pride of Compton, Mr. Seabad.
Dodger dog of the game.
Mookie, all right. MRI, okay. We got the good old dead arm Scherzer from Boomer Assassin. Victor Banos, did Ohtani say is expanding the market, including the East Coast? He did say that, Victor. I'm actually dropping a video about that tomorrow, and Ohtani wants to win. So that's kind of what you need to know about that. So hardest ball hit by Freddie was an out. That's from Craig Osterberg. Snell in 24 in blue. Victor Banos, it's possible. I think they're going to consider that. Ohtani will be on the West Coast. I think that I think from a leverage standpoint too, it makes sense for him not to do that. Hepatitis, see you later, says JD Martinez is a Boris guy. Maybe 3 years is too much, but maybe someone wants him that bad. Yeah, I mean, guys going to win. I think it's largely dependent on how they feel about his medicals, his health. Can he play a full year? I think for him, you've seen this season that he had that groin, the back, I mean, the hamstring, I mean, all kinds of different ailments that were part of his recent injury. So, yeah, he doesn't look like he runs very well, but he's a DH. Hey, DMAC, Access Sports said 8 games to the match. Oh, really? I thought it was 9, but okay. Wally Moon, that's from Bruce Davis. Our magic number is still 8. Okay, so magic number is still 8. Okay, yeah. Wait, yeah. I get it. I'll do the math. Yeah, I'll do the math on that. Dodgers magic number is still 8. We got. Are you sure? Were they wrong? They could be wrong though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's. Pretty sure it's 9. If you look at the standings here. I don't know. Sportsnet LA. Okay, here we go. D. Gordon. I have a soft spot for D. D. Gordon was my guy. He was one of the last true leadoff men in the league. Anthony Keene. Yeah, D. Gordon was cool, man. Mickey Hatcher was a dog. That's from Victor Banos. So, yeah, getting back into this, Wally Moon was a great number 9 for Mr. Seabad. Andrew Freeman. We got Get My Boy some red light therapy.
Finish him.
Padres give us a Hassan Kim. We need another Korean who can play in the infield. Bring back Jay Howell. Never pay for pitching for hepatitis. See you later. Bring back Bob Welch. Is Kelly coming back soon? He is coming back soon. In fact, my guy, Mr. Tim Rogers, he was there to see Joe Kelly tonight, who is getting his rehab assignment done. So that's definitely a positive. In fact, Dave Roberts said today that Joe Kelly is starting a rehab assignment with Rancho. Will do at least 2 more before rejoining the club during the homestand. Also, an update on Yency Almonte. He is set to throw a bullpen session on Tuesday. And Ryan Yarbrough, he's going to throw Sunday. So we're going to see if he starts or not. So that definitely is good. Another follow-up on J.D. Martinez. He says that his groin injury still, quote, zings him occasionally. So that's what he said. So very interesting stuff. I don't want to be zinged from a groin injury. Don't zing me, okay? The Dodgers, Braves, didn't get on him. We got Hatcher. Lance Lynn is Syndergaard's brother, reading from the Bible study. TKM, you're going to get a finisher from that. We got Bradish for Cy Young. Justin Lamas. All 30 teams could use Hassan Kim. Very good leadoff hitter. Plays elite defense all around the infield. Okay, I want to talk some Freddie Freeman now, because let's jump to the Freddie Freeman inning where he ends up getting that double there and making Dodgers history forever. And first, let's check it out. You got to see Fredericks of Hollywood. Actually, here we go. Boom. Look at Freddie Freeman doing his thing. Top of the 5th inning. Always on his horse, too. You got to love it, too. Look at the slide. Helmet's off. Doing the dance. You love to see it. And how about that? Freddie Freeman becomes a Dodgers all-time single-season doubles record holder. He's the Dodgers doubles king. And if you look at that inning right there, the top of the 5th, thankfully the Dodgers were able to score a ton of runs tonight, because that top of the 5th, Freddie, after he doubles to right, Smith, he walked to load the bases. Dodgers had the bases loaded there. No outs, and then J.D. Martinez, he struck out swinging. Muncy popped to short. Then Rosario, he struck out looking. So the Dodgers get no runs on 1 hit and an error, despite not being able to, despite that bases loaded situation right there. But a little bit on Freddie Freeman. I want to talk about this. So Freddie Freeman doubled in the 5th inning right there off Mason Thompson. It was his 53rd double of the season. Set a new franchise record with his 53rd double of the year. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the Freddie Freeman experience? Has he exceeded your expectations? Is he Andrew Friedman's best signing? That's a interesting question, because you look at Mookie, of course, he's fantastic. That's 12,365. This is 6 years, 162. So you got to consider the value. 199 from Brandon Chinks says Acuna wins MVP, but Betts goes off in October. I'll trade that off. I will happily trade that off. Mookie already has a shiny MVP trophy, albeit it is of the American League variety, but still, I would take that any day of the week. Yency always gives runs. Monty is not good. Well, guess what? You're going to finish it for that. Nice burn right there. Freddie Freeman is such a great player from Bigger. Let's go Rams beat the Seahawks. There you go. The Ramleys in the mix. How's your football teams doing, guys? Who's everyone's NFL team? I want to read that off. That'd be funny. BC 10, Mike M10, Bigger 64 10, DMAC, who plays 3rd next year? That's a great question. I think you got the option for Max Muncy, and really where else he's going to play. If you get Ohtani, he's going to be at the DH spot. So, yeah, I mean, I think right now that's too favorable of a team option for a guy that hits you 30-plus home runs. I mean, there's no one in the league that would not take that deal. But who knows? Maybe you could trade him always. If you trade Nolan Arenado for Arenado, and Arenado tries to force his way to L.A., maybe that's a possibility. But Ruben says 10. Justin says 10. Brian C. says 10. Jason Diamond is the Russian judge, says 9.5. Keep Alex Vezia from Caleb. What's up, BC? What up, David Sabatini? Always rock with us from the NYC. Always appreciate you. Nolan plays 3rd base next year. LMFAO. That's from Justin. What up, Justin? Here we go, Anthony Keene. Freddie is easily a 15 out of 10. The man has been in uniform for a hot second and is already setting records. Now, Anthony Keene's a good jumping off point right there. Let's talk about those records. I mean, Freddie Freeman now has 1 more double than the other Frederick. So how about this? If you're a Dodger and your name is Frederick, there's a good chance you're going to hit doubles, okay? So it's 53 doubles for Freddie Freeman on the year, breaking Johnny Frederick's record that he set with the Brooklyn Dodgers back in 1929. That record stood for over 93 years, and guess what? There's still 22 games to play in the season, and Freddie Freeman is on pace for 61 two-baggers. 61 doubles, that's how much he's on pace for. No major league hitter has hit 60 doubles in a season since 1936. That is how historic this season is for Freddie Freeman. And if you look at some of the months he's had, it's been absolutely incredible if you look at his production. I mean, he had 17 doubles in May, 16 doubles in August. Now, if you look at Babe Herman, Dodgers legend, he had a 16-double month for Brooklyn in July of 1930, and Freeman is one of just 3 Dodgers with a 15-double month to do so in the month of May of 2022. So if you look at some of those incredible months he's put together, this guy's an absolute beast at the plate. We knew that from afar, but just seeing it up close, the professional at-bats, he's the professional. That is how he is, going up there, always sticking with his approach, hitting to all fields. I love the all fields approach, just trying to get good hard contact and good things happen. But even so, the slugging has been up. The doubles have been up. The most doubles they had ever hit in a season with the Braves is 44. He's already hit 53 with the Dodgers this season, had 47 last year. So this truly is peak Freddie Freeman. This version of Freddie Freeman with the Dodgers is better than any version that you had in Atlanta. Of course, he won the MVP in 2020. It was a 60-game season. I still think it's more impressive to do what he's been doing this year for the entire season than doing that for 2 months in the regular season in 2020. I don't think that that's really even debatable. So, yeah, if you look at Freddie, what he's done in May and August, that's 33 doubles in 57 games, right? 53 doubles in 57 games. There's only been 100 Dodgers seasons with 33 or more doubles, and they were talking about a franchise that's been around for 140 years. So this guy is truly putting together incredible seasons, and then you add the 25 bombs on top of the 53 doubles, and you got 2 triples. That means he's going to be in the 9th season in Dodgers history with 80 extra base hits. So this is someone who is on pace to set the Dodgers all-time record for most extra base hits in LA Dodgers history. Sean Green in 2001 had 84. Cody Bellinger had 84 in his MVP season in 2019. Now, if you look at the Brooklyn years, back in 1930, Babe Herman had 94. So he's on pace for 93. So Freddie's on pace for 93 extra base hits. He's going to most likely pass the LA Dodgers record, like I said, which is 84, set by Green and Bellinger. And he has a chance, if he picks up that pace a little bit, to pass Babe Herman for most extra base hits in Dodgers history. For some reason, I just want to get all into that just to tell you how great of a player that Freddie Freeman is. But hey, I'm going to ask you guys, who is your favorite NFL team? And here we go. We got 49ers from Bigger. We got David Sabatini says the Rams, the Ramley Who's House. Justin Lamas says my football team is Arsenal. Okay, football. Okay, the Premier League. We got Rams Horns Up from Boomer Assassin. Keith Muncie from Unthinkable Unknown. Vesia for Mike Trout. The Feed. You're getting a bruh for that one. I love your fourth, though. Vesia for Mike Trout. Who says no, right? Okay. Jason Diamond says the Raiders. Sailor says the Steelers. Eddie Hernandez, the Giants. Trade Caleb Decam says the Chiefs. Okay. Hey, how about your boy? Last night? So yeah, that was not the nicest night for my guy. So you really were feeling for him all over. I mean, Kadarius Toney, right? He couldn't catch a cold, soaking wet in the North Pole. My man would just drop C's all night long. But yeah, not a good night for Kadarius Toney. But by the way, I felt bad the fact that he had to delete X. He had to delete his Twitter. You didn't love to see that. But can Andrew afford to give up close 2 years for Ohtani when he's got money on prospects now, Steve Elias? The simple short answer to that is yes, they can afford it. You only have 2 players that are under big deals in Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, and the rest of those guys, Chris Taylor, This is the third year of his $60 million deal. Other than that, you got the Barneses, you got the Rojas extension. Not a lot of guys that are under contract beyond that are going to do anything to the overall CBT and their overall salary that's going to prevent them from signing guys like a Shohei Ohtani. They had definitely gone into that offseason. And look at the guys that they didn't sign. Correa has been an absolute bum. I mean, he only has one leg, but still, I mean, hate the 40 whiners. Okay, my friend Anthony King's not going to be happy about that. We got the 49ers from Jose Marquez. Anthony King says, 49ers all damn day. Team of the 80s, baby. Hey, man, I'll never forget the Chargers Super Bowl II. That was great. What Super Bowl was that? I'm trying to think. We got Saints from Mr. Lamas, the Niners, Cowboys from Roy Estrada. I hate them. Niners and of Santa Clara, Trojans. Okay, got some fight on, guys. Hey, I'm a UCLA guy, but guess what? I drafted me a bunch of Trojans on my fantasy team. I'm on St. Brown. Gave me some points. I also got Drake London. So, hey, for me, it's all business when it comes to fantasy. USC also Caleb Williams. What more can you say? My guy is just a lock for that number one pick. Fight and beat Stanford. Justin, I think it's at 7:30 game tomorrow, I believe. We got Devontae Johnson, UCLA, Rams, Lakers, Dodgers. There you go. I have a cousin playing for Arizona State. That's from BC. That's awesome, man. Mr. Seabet, Dallas Cowboys, 2032 Super Bowl champions. Okay.
Finish him.
Mr. Seabet, I like how you're just embracing being a Cowboys fan. Freeman having a wonderful season. That's from Bigger. We got 87-year-old Koufax will pitch better than Lynn. That's from Mr. Lamas.
Finish him.
That's a fire take.
Fire take.
Honestly, go get the guy, get Roger Owens, get any type of concession guy. Right now, they could probably pitch better than Lance BP Lynn at the moment. But D-Mac, do you think Freddie will make it to the Hall of Fame? Bigger 64? Absolutely, he's going to make the Hall of Fame. I think you look at Freddie Freeman right now. He's someone that his swing is going to age gracefully. I think he's still going to be productive. Plays first base, so I think defensively you can keep him out there for a pretty good amount of time. But yeah, I mean, if you look at Freddie Freeman, he's at 55.2 WAR. You cross that 60 WAR range, you're feeling good about it. Put up to get 70. I think, yeah, he's headed for the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's a slam dunk right now that, of course, Clayton Kershaw is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think Mookie Betts, I think Kershaw really should be a unanimous Hall of Famer in my opinion, but Mookie Betts, of course, he's headed for the Hall. But Freddie, 7-time All-Star, Gold Glove Award winner, 3-time Silver Slugger, 2021 World Series winner, MVP, performed well in the postseason. Yeah, Freddie Freeman is going to Cooperstown. There is no doubt in my mind. But here we go. We got the Breakers, USC, 49ers, Lakers, Dodgers, LA Kings, and don't tell anyone, but I root for both Galaxy and LAFC. Anthony King, we're not going to open that can of worms, so come on, pick a team, okay? Can't pick both, okay? Lakers, Clippers, LAFC, Galaxy, Rams, Chargers. What are you trying to do? I won't say Dodgers, Angels, because the Angels are in L.A. We know that. But Steelers win Sunday. That's a battle of two good defenses. The Cowboys, how about them Cowboys? Yeah, man, I'm reading a book about the 90s Cowboys right now, man. But we got Ryan Montez, $2, Cowboys and the Saints. But, yep, guys, D-Mac, that was Super Bowl 29, Steve Young, and the monkey off his back. Yeah, the monkey. Get the monkey off my back, right? Yeah, they absolutely destroyed San Diego. That was the one where Deion Sanders got a delivery for a Lamborghini out in I'll never forget, Steve Young talked about after they won that Super Bowl, he went to the facility 3 days after, and he looks in the back and he sees Jerry Rice running routes 3 days after winning the Super Bowl, right? Hey, that tells you everything you know about Jerry Rice, the greatest receiver of all time. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Tonight, they get the dub. I think a good win for this Dodgers team based on everything that's going on right now. I think you got to stick with this youth movement. I think Emmett Sheehan tonight, stuff-wise, you saw him flash that potential. I think defense didn't do him any favors. I think for him, Sheehan, you want to limit bad defense early. Let him get into a groove because you see the potential. And I think right now, it's just about seeing what's the status of Clayton Kershaw, right? What's the status of, can Ryan Pepio continue to pick this up? Bobby Miller. So let's get weird, guys. It didn't. When we won 111 games, it didn't work. When we had Zach Greinke and Clayton Kershaw, it didn't work, okay? Maybe this is the weird and wacky year where the offense carries this team, where this team just outslugs their opponent. You see this offense go crazy, and tonight, the number one thing we saw was JD Martinez back in that Dodgers lineup, how much that impacts everything. So I'm going to try to stay optimistic. I'm not going to wave the white flag. I think anything can happen in this sport. You saw that Giants team. They win the World Series off Madison Bumgarner. Who knows what we're going to get from these young guys. So let's remain optimistic. Guarantee a show tomorrow, D-Mac. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I think there's a good chance. But Jadism, Kershaw's fastball down to 88. Yeah, we talked about that. But thanks again, guys. If you have not yet, thanks, Roy Estrada. If you haven't yet, just definitely hit that like button on the way out. Tell your friends about the show. And remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, my name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.